Hello and welcome to Section E, Pest Management Practices. My name is Christina Spellman and I'm from the Heartland Regional Office, and I'm here to give you some pointers on this section of the ARMS 2 survey. So what is the purpose for the ARMS 2 survey, especially the pest management section? In many cases, this is the only reliable resource available for pest management data collection from producers. We are collecting data not only about pesticides, but also about alternatives to pesticides and some of the practices farmers enact to help increase their effectiveness. One of the best arguments I've heard about the ARMS 2 survey is that it shows how responsible farmers are with their pesticides and that they take on new technology to avoid issues such as runoff and excessive pesticide use. ARMS 2 is one of the best sources of information on this topic, so it is often put in the hands of our lawmakers and regulators, especially when they are writing rules that affect operators. We want lawmakers to have the best data to create effective actions and lessen burdensome regulations. For this survey, when you see the word pest, it refers to 4 categories that are listed here, which includes weeds, insects, disease, and fungus. Always have these topics in the back of your mind as you go through the ARMS 2 survey in case they are brought up in conversation with the operator. The survey asks growers to report on the practices they use to manage pests. Remember, the term pests includes weeds, insects, diseases, and fungus. There are also 4 types of practices that are the focus for the survey. They include prevention, keeping pests out in the first place. Avoidance, which is more about mitigating the effects of the pests. Monitoring focuses on keeping track of the pests. And lastly, suppression, which is about controlling the pests that are already there. These topics might help you answer some of the questions from the respondent and understand their overall practices. Now, let's talk a bit about walking through the questionnaire. An error that we often see while reviewing is not following skip codes correctly. For example, the operator says they only scout for pests while doing their work. This would indicate that value 2 should be answered, and the next question can be skipped per the text in red. The second example consists of a yes or no question, where an answer of 1 means yes, and to continue on with the survey. But an answer of 3 means no, and to skip to the next section. Keep an eye out for particularly long skips like these. Overall, make sure that you're familiar with the questionnaire and skip codes to avoid extra work for you and lessen the respondent burden. As we go further through the questionnaire, we get our specific purpose questions. For these, the intent of the operator is the focus here. If an operator, for example, used soil rotation, but the reasoning didn't have anything to do with pest management, say it was about soil nutrient concerns, then we would mark a no for the rotate crops here. Another reminder, when you're recording the answers to these questions, again, a 1 means yes and a 3 means no. Leaving a box blank does not mean no. These style of questions may be difficult to catch on to, but remember that the focus here is on pest management. Economic threshold. What are we asking with this type of question? An economic threshold is the pest population level, or the extent of the crop damage at which the value of the crops destroyed exceeds the cost of controlling the pests, so action must be taken. An example would be that stem rust can cause up to 90% yield loss, so most operators are willing to spend money on treatment to keep losses down. Again, we are looking for pests that are defined as weeds, insects, diseases, and fungus. Section E has many skip codes, so please be familiar with the questionnaire. This will help you with moving through the survey faster. Of course, leave notes as needed. We have access to them and will be able to take appropriate measures. Lastly, if you have any remaining questions, please feel free to reach out to your supervisor or RFO representative. Thank you very much for your time.